Hello everyone, this is David Moffat from Annex Tabletop Gaming, and today I'm going to paint up this little Nighthaunt guy. I'm going to paint him up as a proper spooky boy. I'm going to use John Cassiello's method, which involves... I think he originally primed white, but I went with a zenithal, so I did the gray style res primer, and then I zenithaled with some white ink. I'm going to paint all the ghostly robes with, I say, Nighthaunt oxide. You may pronounce it differently. All the metal is going to be painted with Nighthaunt Gloom, and then all the fleshy bits are going to be painted with Hexwraith Flame. And then after those are dry, we're going to dry brush the whole sucker with this MSP Reaper paint, Ghost White. Alright, let's get started. So, look at this guy first. What he's got is some metal, cloth, metal, flesh, more metal, more cloth. So I'm going to start with my Nighthaunt oxide. I'm going to slather them up. Alright, here we go. Now we're going to get some Nighthaunt something oxide on there. These are all the technical paints. So they're going to be semi-translucent. And that is perfect. So this guy, to me, does not quite exist in the mortal realm. It's just visible. So I don't want him to seem like he's entirely there. I'm going to record this video in real time for painting, just so you can see how quick it is to do this thing. And some people actually do like to watch a video where someone paints the whole miniature. So all the speeding up fast edits and whatnot. And that's how I'm going to make this video for. Those kind of people. I like watching it. I like watching those videos. Of course, if it's like a super involved project, I don't think I'd want to watch the whole thing. Oh, a little quick job like this guy. There's no reason not to. It's not going to take very long at all. I was never in love with the Nighthaunt. I ended up finding a used box of unbuilt Soul Wars models, and I just wanted the Stormcast out of them until I saw John Cassiello's Nighthaunt, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I tried painting up ghosts with the Nighthaunt oxide before. I wasn't quite satisfied with the way they looked. They certainly looked after real, but not quite what I was looking for. Oh, maybe that's metal. Oh yeah, there's a little rivet there. Well, that's okay. Come back to it. Let's see, did we get everybody? Looks like it. Put a little more there. Mostly wanting the paint to go into the recesses anyway. Once we dry brush it with the Ghost White, you won't see much on the outsides, that's for sure. Next up, we're going to do the Nighthaunt Gloom. There's a pretty good swath of that color in there on this guy. I've put my technical paints in dropper bottles, as you no doubt saw. They are slightly thinned as well, with some of Luke APS's Lahmia-ish medium. So I'm going to make them a little more transparent, I think, than they would be normally. And of course, if you don't have Nighthaunt oxide, you can easily substitute it with Any kind of craft or patina, really. As long as you thin it down with some medium to give it a bit of a transparent look. The Hex Wraith is a very bright green. The Nighthaunt Gloom, the most challenging color to find. Definitely would have to do a bit of guessing on the color match, but I think it should be doable if you don't want to use Games Workshop colors. Open up those chains. I don't remember the story of this guy. I don't know why he's lugging chains around. It definitely looks like he means business with him. Go. Perfect. Get this stuff up top. Yeah, they sure like to bounce around. It's Nighthaunt. I do not know of their durability when it comes to transporting them to games. Feels suspect. You would need to magnetize your storage, for sure, so they don't jostle around too much. Alright, I've noticed. Merge those two colors together. Grab some of the inside. There we go. Oh, forgot the chain on the back here. Now let's take a peek in there. Let's feed the brushing a little. Okay. So the last color we need to put on there. Oh, actually, let's see. I don't know if I missed it or it just kind of looked away. Now the last color we're going to put on there. It's going to be this Hex Wraith Flame. And that's going to go on the flesh. There we are. Not much flesh on this fellow. And as you might be able to tell, this is a very bright green. Definitely an easy one to find a replacement for. And that's it. Alright, now I need to let him dry. Alright, so all his colors are dried. Time to dry brush. So what I'm going to do next, get a little cloth out. I'm going to put a little Ghost White, dry brush it right on there. Right, so the Ghost White is a super pale blue. Very cold. We're going to dry brush that right on there. This handy dandy makeup brush. catching all those raised areas. Adding a ghostly chill to the miniature. These guys aren't necessarily the easiest to dry brush because they're so bendy. There we go. I'd rate it as a relatively heavy dry brush overall. You can't really get to the insides as much, which is perfect. So what that does is it gives it kind of a darker core. So I'll do a little in there. Tickles the insides. Go. Tickles. That. Believe it or not, it's finished. That's all you really need to paint, aside from any embellishments that might be on the base. Next step I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight a few selected spots with a mixture of white gesso and the ghost white. Just to highlight a few points. I'd use some white gesso to patch up a spot that rubbed off on one of the other Nighthaunt guys. So. Let's do it. Let's add a bit of brighter highlights. Why not? Got the paint on the palette. Let's do it. Let's stroke it on there. Catch the inside of there a little. Just create a couple areas of pop. Nothing too wild. Maybe a couple of tips of the robes. Anywhere where we need to define an edge. A little more sincerely. Maybe the opening of his mouth, I think. Is that a mouth thing? Maybe. Alright. Let's drag it up a little here. A little over here. Over there. And up on his little bony arm. Both sides, sure. To find that little hole. Take some skeleton horde, put it on the skull. I'm not gonna get too crazy with the painting of the base stuff. It's just going to be blended in with the most parts anyway. But it'd be good to have a bit of color on there. That poor lad. Skull now rests beside a rock. Speaking of the rock, we'll paint the rock with Basilicanum Grey. If that's how you say Basilicanum. So let's just grab some and slap it on there. Okay, rock painted. Next up is my custom green texture paint. It's made out of a mixture of inks, gesso, and sand, baking soda and stuff. It just creates a base level for the next part. I find the sand really helps with the next part, which is adding some wood glue to the base and dipping it in a custom flock mixture. These I find tend not to shrink up so much when you got a lot of texture on there. And if you do it a sandy color, it also makes a nice little sandy surface, like say you were painting some, I don't know, gladiator arenas or a beach scene or something. Can look very nice for that. And for the last thing to be painted on this guy, I'm going to take some of this craft paint that I've mixed into this bottle, and I'm going to do the final lap, which is the rim of the base, with my special final lap brush. I really like this brush for final laps. It's got a very flat, kind of angular surface to the bristles, which makes it great for just running around a base. This is my official final lap brush. Alright, the last thing that's going to be painted. Okay, and the last part of our video involves the basing. I use two things for basing. Some of this Gorilla Wood glue. Some of this nice premix. It's a mixture of mosses, and sand, and flock, and static grass, and all sorts of things in there. And it really deserves its own video, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. But, I mean, for these guys, it really just ties them together. Just you wait and see. So the first thing I do, take some wood glue and slather it around. I find that the wood glue is very strong. I find that it doesn't shrink up as much as the PVA glues I've used. And for me, it's readily accessible, so I just grabbed a big old bottle and went to town. I want to be relatively quick with this application. Don't spend too much time letting it dry or anything. Try to get it in the crevices. Use it to fill areas too. If you got some on the rim, there's enough. You can just wipe it off with your finger. Alright. You take the miniature. Take this stuff and you just swirl it in. Nighthaunts aren't very stiff, so don't swirl in there quite as nicely. But just get it covered up and pat it off. And there we are. Complete. Looking pretty snazzy. This kind of basing adds a bit of life to the base to contrast the ethereal nature the undeath of the Nighthaunt, I feel. But it works quite nicely. And that's all we do. Well, thanks a lot to John Cassiello for making a very inspirational Nighthaunt army that I was able to work with and make my own as well. Yeah, I was not in love with these guys up until I saw his paint schemes. Now I'm working on a whole army for no reason at all. I'm just painting them up. I don't know if I'll ever play them, but I like them a lot. Well, thanks for watching. Bye bye!